Hi everybody, my name is Nathan Ronen and I'm the co-founder and CFA lead instructor at Chalk and Board, a test prep company located in the New York City area. I wanted to share with you a question that I get very often from candidates, whether it's over social media or even a phone call or just a text message. And sometimes I'm not really sure why I get this question because I'm not really a counselor for undergraduate admissions. But one of the questions I always get is, Nathan, is there any guidance you can give me or suggestions you can give me about how to get into a Ivy League school in the United States? Well, first of all, let me back up and say, because I don't want to misrepresent, I did not go to an Ivy League school either for my undergraduate studies or for my graduate studies. Okay, so I could be biased this way. But first, let's back up a second and say when we're talking about the Ivy League schools in the United States, what are we referring to? We're referring to specifically eight schools. Okay, those would be Brown, Columbia. That would also include Dartmouth, Cornell, Princeton, University of Pennsylvania, Harvard, and Yale. I think I got all eight of them there. In any case, they're well known to be very prestigious schools, very good academically, and they also have a history of having very strong emphasis on athletics. Okay. Now, is a Ivy League education necessary for everybody? I'm only going to explain to you what I did when I was in your position looking at undergraduate schools and graduate schools, and I'm going to avoid the answer of yes or no, because it isn't a yes or no answer. It really depends on your character. It depends on your personality. It depends on your outlook on life and what you're looking to achieve. Some people really identify with brand names or prestigious names. Other people are looking for a good education and realize that they could get it in many different locations and it doesn't have to be limited to 8 specific schools. Now, when I was actually looking at undergraduate schools, I have to admit, I wanted to get into Harvard or Yale or University of Pennsylvania at that time. But my father basically said something very simple to me. He said, in today's world, you can't get very far just on an undergraduate degree. So most likely, especially since you're focusing on business, you probably want to go on to an MBA program after you've gotten some work experience. So I'm not going to shell out all this money on a private institution. Now, let me give you a hint. In those days, when I was looking, a public school like a state school was only $5,000 all inclusive, room and board and everything for 1 year, whereas a private institution like a Harvard or a Yale was $13,000. Those are very different prices from today, where undergraduate degrees at private institutions can go up as far as $80,000 or $85,000, $90,000, depending on when you're listening to this, recording. In any case, so my father said, you're going to go to a state school, a good state school, undergraduate, because I got your brother coming up 2 years behind you, and we need to make sure that we can pay for both of you for college. And then what you're going to do is you're going to work for a few years, get some very good work experience, and then when you decide to go for your graduate school, an MBA program, you can go wherever you want. Because at the end of the day, people are going to look at your ultimate destination. If you only got an undergraduate degree, they're going to focus on where you got your undergraduate degree. But if you got an MBA or an advanced degree, they're going to focus on where you got your advanced degree from. So what I did was I basically went to the State University of New York at Binghamton. I went to their School of Management, and I studied business management there. I got a BS, Bachelor of Science. And then I worked for about 4 or 5 years in different functions on Wall Street. I worked for a Japanese investment banking house doing cross-border M&A transactions. I also worked for Arthur Andersen, a consulting firm at the time. And then I went on to my graduate studies at the University of Chicago, which is now called the Booth Graduate School of Business at the University of Chicago. And there I learned from some of the best professors out there, Eugene Fama, Merton Miller at the time, Stephen Kaplan, and many other, Stiegler, many other types of instructors who were very famous and got even Nobel Prizes. And I thought it was a great school to go to. So today, when I'm telling people where did I graduate from, I generally focus on my graduate degree because that was my final stop before I got my CFA designation. So again, the answer is not, yes, you should go to a Ivy League school, or no, you shouldn't go to an Ivy League school. If you want, apply. If you get a full ride, your decision has been made for you. If mom and dad have oodles of money and they don't know what to do for it, your decision has been made for you. Okay? And if you are a prestige seeker and you look for name dropping and like to put names behind your name, and that's all you really care about and nothing more, you don't really care about the quality of the education, then you also have your decision made for you. I would never look down on anybody for going to an Ivy League school, and I would never look down on anybody for not going to an Ivy League school. It's a personal decision. But a lot of times other factors come into account, like the acceptance rates, the cost of tuition, the cost of living there, okay, and also what is it that you want to do with your degree. So focus more on what you're trying to achieve, whether you're trying to achieve an undergraduate degree or a graduate degree. Are you looking to stay in finance, not in finance? And that will help you design whether or not you need to go to a Ivy League school or not. Don't go to an Ivy League school just because it's a prestigious name to have on your resume. Go there because you really want to be there, you think you'll thrive there, and it's going to help you to achieve your life goals. And that's what I would say about the Ivy League education.